France calls military cooperation between Russia and North Korea worrying after reports Pyongyang has sent troops to fight in Ukraine. France has said it's concerned about growing military cooperation between Russia and North Korea after South Korea's spy agency said Pyongyang had sent troops to fight in Ukraine. If the South Korean intelligence is confirmed, the troop deployment would bring a third country into the war. The National Intelligence Service in Seoul said that Russian Navy ships transferred 1,500 North Korean Special Operations Forces to the Russian port city of Vladivostok from the 8th to the 13th of October. The North Korean soldiers have reportedly been given Russian military uniforms, weapons, and forged identity documents. On Thursday, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that a third nation entering the hostilities could turn the conflict into a world war. North Korea has 1.2 million troops, one of the largest standing militaries in the world, but it hasn't fought in any large-scale conflict since the 1950 to 1953 Korean War. US President Joe Biden has said that negotiating a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah could be easier than forging one with Hamas. Biden was speaking in Berlin after talks with the leaders of France, Germany, and the UK. He declined to say whether Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had given him reassurances that Israel was ready to come back to negotiations on hostage and ceasefire deals. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said allies were working to de-escalate tensions in the region and agreed that there was no military-only solution. Israel and the Lebanon-based militant group Hezbollah have traded almost daily fire since the war in Gaza broke out in October, displacing thousands on both sides of the border. On the 30th of September, Israel launched what it called a targeted ground operation in Lebanon, it says, to find and eliminate Hezbollah positions. Cleanup operations are underway after 2 days of torrential rain caused the worst flooding central France has seen in 40 years. Over 1,000 people were evacuated from several areas, but most were able to go back home on Friday. French weather agency Météo France said as much as 700 millimeters of rain fell in 48 hours in some parts of the southern regions of Ardèche and Lozère. The agency lifted its red alert on Friday, but warned of potential heavy rain in southwestern areas.
Tourists arriving in Greece this week may receive an unexpected welcome as labour unions distribute English leaflets highlighting the harsh working conditions in the tourism industry. Protests are also planned at key locations including ports, airports and archaeological sites.
Ζητάμε αυξήσεις οι οποίες θα καλύψουν την αγοραστική δύναμη του μισθού μας, την οποία την έχουμε χάσει λόγω της έκρηξης της ακρίβειας, 12% για 2 έτη, 6% για 1 έτος και ζητάμε εν έτη 2024 να εφαρμοστεί και σε εμάς το πενθήμερο 40ωρο.
A shortage of staff has been one of the biggest headaches for the Greek tourism industry in 2024. And although there has been an increase in tourist arrivals this year, Greece is not growing as fast as other Mediterranean countries as a holiday destination.
Χώρες Μεσογείου και οι Βαλκανικές χώρες συνολικά αυξάνουν το μερίδιό τους, που σημαίνει ότι οι τουρίστες προτιμούν αυτή την περιοχή για τις διακοπές τους. Τώρα, βλέποντας τη χώρα τη δική μας, συγκρινόμενη με τις υπόλοιπες χώρες, φαίνεται ότι αυξάνεται μένα, αλλά όχι με την ίδια ταχύτητα.
Public infrastructure such as ports, airports, water and sewage networks and waste management is struggling to keep up with the rising number of tourists. Experts say that to keep Greek tourism sustainable, a different and more comprehensive approach is needed.
Θα διαμορφώσουμε προϊόντα έξω από το ήλιος θάλασσα, για το οποίο είμαστε πάρα πολύ ισχυροί πλέον ως διεθνές brand για τη χώρα, να ενισχύσουμε τις υποδομές μας, το ανθρώπινο δυναμικό.
There isn't a magic number as far as like how many tourists you can have in a destination. It's really about how you manage the destinations, how you manage the impact. For too many years, we've been measuring tourism with just the volume of tourism that arrives and just, how much money they leave behind.
One of the primary goals for the tourism industry in the coming years is to extend the seasonality of travel and promote the beauty of mountainous Greece.